The 2000s were a big year for superhero movies, mostly because of the start of the MCU, with movies such as Iron Man, Captain America, Incredible Hulk, Thor, and most importantly, The Avengers, which was very popular and done very well in the box office, and it was greatly reviewed. Other movie studios found out about the success of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They thought it was a good idea to make their own universes with things like horror movies and other superheroes. Most of them failed, and one of those universes was the DC Extended Universe. The DC Extended Universe had started off in 2013 with their first release being Man of Steel, directed by Zack Snyder. The movie has done very well in the box office, making $670 million in the box office. The movie did have some mixed criticism, though. It did have some mixed reviews, with people liking the performance of Henry Cavill as Superman. Snyder fans. Mostly because of his body physique. I feel like Henry Cavill seems like the perfect Superman, but Zack Snyder kind of just messed it up. Critics also didn't like the movie, such as in the third act when Superman and General Zod were fighting, they caused collateral damage in Metropolis. Even that one scene where Zod threw a whole vehicle at Superman and he dodged it because he was aura farming. But what if there was a person in there? What if there was a person in that vehicle? Superman could have saved him. Superman also has X-ray vision, so he could obviously see the person and he could take him out. If there was a person in there and he just decided to aura farm, then that's not even Superman. Like, this Superman that Zack Snyder has shown us is more like he's showing us more of the godlike mythical Superman, more than the heroic side, more hopeful, bright, warmth side of Superman. And that was kind of like my problem with the DCEU Superman. But I have watched Man of Steel recently, and I honestly thought it was pretty good. The movie did have some flaws, but I did like Henry Cavill's performance on Superman, and I enjoyed the movie as a whole. Like I said, the movie had some flaws, such as John Kent's death, with how he was aura farming at his death. The thing that I liked about the original Superman, the Christopher Reeve, is that his dad died from a heart attack, and that showed Superman that he can't save everyone, because some things are just inevitable. But soon, there had came Batman v Superman, which was the movie that I guess people were hyped for it. I don't know, I haven't done much research. The movie was a massive flop, where it was an awful movie. Now, I haven't watched the movie recently, and I haven't watched it or anything, so I'm not sure. Pretty soon I am going to rewatch it myself so I could see how bad the movie was. But people have been saying that it's probably one of the worst superhero movies ever. The thing that I really like about the DCEU is that they have such beautiful costumes, such as Superman and Batman, because it looks like their costumes were pulled straight from the comics. But the thing I don't like about their costumes is that, well, I feel like Batman should have had the trunks. I get that they're like, oh, it's goofy and stuff like that, but crap that, man, no. Sure, the trunks may look goofy, but come on, man, you gotta have them. Plus, it breaks up the colors, perfectly. Because, with the suit being all gray and not, having another type of black on it, it just doesn't look right, no. Even with Superman, in the Man of Steel movie, his costume, with the blue, it was too dark. Same with, how with TASM 2, people just, blazed the crap out of that suit, saying that it's the most perfect Spider-Man suit. But I don't think so, because the blue on that suit was also as dark, kind of like the Henry Cavill Superman. But for today, the whole thing I'm going to do is I'm going to redesign Henry Cavill's Superman. Try and brighten up the colors a little bit, maybe add a few things, maybe trunks, I don't know. But we're going to see, and let's get started, I guess. Before we start off with the full-on suit, I want to first try and sketch out some symbols so I can get an idea of what the rest of the suit would look like matching the type of symbol. So with the symbol, I want to try and match or have it be similar to how the actual Henry Cavill Superman symbol looks, while still giving it a little different tone and a little my own style. So let's get started. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'm sketching out very lightly with first the shape of the symbol. So first off, I'm going to start off with drawing out the original Superman logo. Not the original, but the original Henry Cavill. Now that I got that, and I can see how the logo is, I'm gonna try and draw out the original Superman logo. There. Now, as you can see here,
These two are very different, but are still very similar. So I want to try and combine these two together while still having like a similar tone with Henry Cavill. So let's see how this goes. Anyways, I tried to make it a little more simple, more simple while still matching this symbol right here, and then still like combining these. So it pretty much just creates this. So now that I have an idea of what the symbol is, I can now try and draw out some designs. So let's see here. Okay, I now have a body drawn out. So first we're gonna start off with drawing out the symbol. Okay, we're now with the symbol. Now, for my design, I'm gonna try and stick it to sort of like the classic Superman look right here, as you can see, while still giving it that like sort of Zack Snyder type of style. So I want to try and fit in the trunks and then give them brighter colors, but that's going to be later when we start to color. But first, let's try and draw a belt. I'm planning on giving him like maybe a little curl too, but as you can see here, this is like a little sketch of what I got. So we see that we got trunks. Maybe I can try and make that the waist a little better, like with the belt and these. I still added the lines right here. The boots are, I think they look good. Symbol, and then we got the cape right here. And then I didn't draw a face yet, but since that but yeah. Now that I have an idea of what Henry Cavill's Superman, my Superman, should look like, I'm gonna now finally draw it out. Anyways, here's the final design for my version of Henry Cavill's Superman, where as you can see, I brightened up the colors a little bit. I added trunks. I made the belt yellow instead of silver and gray. Here's the comparison between the two suits and the differences. I may be a little biased, but I think mine is better.
Now, if you enjoyed that redesign for Henry Cavill's Superman, make sure to subscribe and like this video, because I am going to be doing more redesigns for other fictional characters, mostly from superhero movies. But for the next video, for the next redesign, I'm going to do MODOK from Ant-Man and Quantumania. And god, that design is yeeks. Anyways, like I said, stay tuned for more redesign videos. I'm going to see if I can rewatch Batman v Superman to see how bad it is, because for my next video, I'm going to be reviewing that movie. Comment down below who you want me to redesign next. Z for Zeppel, and peace.